the theme of the conference was a time to deliver, and that, you know, that's politicized. That's really an important sort of phrase, really. And so I thought it would be great to have people come together and really think about, okay, all they learned in the last week, but all they learned really experientially in their own lives, and just sort of have a focused sort of time to think about the next step. I thought that would be important. And what better place than here?
Dennis, as somebody who comes from the north and is from an academic institution, frequently comes down to Lyantonde, and it's amazing the kind of environment in which he lives when he's in Lyantonde. He lives in places with no running water, where sanitation is extremely poor, but he's willing to live in that kind of environment in order to do something for the people.
You know, I think really conceptual events are really about finding a very clear sense of how one brings the disciplines together and the different stakeholders together in a very robust way. And so the clear thinking that occurs when, in fact, you have people who represent the basic sciences of preventive medicine, epidemiology, you know, advocacy groups, community-based groups, and if they think together about how we can really strategically and ethically move forward in the best kind of way, that kind of declaration of purpose, I think, is really what this is about.
The AIDS epidemic in Uganda was first identified in the early 80s, and I was one of the people who actually did the work that led to the first scientific documentation of the existence of AIDS. How do we empower communities so that the communities can have meaningful participation and involvement in research, as well as doing something for themselves, for their own communities, so that they can develop?
I'm just going to be a little provocative, not to you, but to us as a group. Why do black people in Africa get nevirapine when white people in North America get full heart treatment? And we can say that there are questions of resources, and it's a question of training, and it's a question of whether there's a CD4 count and so on. And I can tell you in my own hospital, St. Mike's, it's one hospital in Toronto, there are CD4 machines lying in the hallways. And there's 3 of these things in the entire country of Malawi. Now, why is that the case? There seems to be a real kind of, again, a lack of authenticity in debate. And I think if Dennis's program or Dennis's methodology were to be used in a more widespread and wide-scale way, we would see a different quality of debate, and we would a much more genuine quality of debate. And I also think that we would see much more innovation, much more innovation, and much more joy and pride in experimentation, in trying, in working toward something better. Yeah.
We want partners, not big brother, small brother, a concept of relationship. We want true partnership, and true partnership can only come through a group like this we are discussing. And if we can have mushrooming groups like this all over Africa, I know we can make a difference.
This, in a way, methodologically, is sort of the idea that we've put forward in Africa, in Malawi and in Uganda, and certainly in Zimbabwe with traditional healers. We have this methodology called conceptual events, and it's really bringing diverse people together, people who represent different disciplines or sectors of society. Let me give you an example. In Malawi, with the interfaith discussion, we've got people who are Baptists talking to Catholics for the first time, talking to Muslims for the first time about something that they can agree on.
Let Africa talk more about itself. I love the partnership, but let Africa talk, be given the opportunity to talk more about themselves, about their problems and solutions.
Not just here, but there. They're trust issues. And when Western cultures descend upon Africa and tell Africans what to do, that doesn't work. What Dennis's work did in Leontonde was figure out what are the mechanisms in cultures that can offer structure to HIV interventions. And so, for example, the Senga and Koja study, that's a community-based response, it's culturally appropriate, but also when you use what's there, it offers the community hope, because it's like, yeah, this is our stuff. We have the mechanisms to deal with this epidemic. We have the traditional mechanisms to deal with this epidemic.
It breaks the models, if you will, of what are the sort of usual models of what development support is. And so it's a process of really sort of eliciting, if you will, the concerns, recognizing that in fact there are resources that are there in spite of the lack of these other kinds of resources, finding ways to implement them, and then sort of being challenged by, in fact, the products of your sort of moving forward.
It's down to earth. It is engaging. You know, and that's what I've been saying all the time. Engage the people. Let them say what their needs are. And then plan with them their needs. Plan the intervention processes together. And do the monitoring together. And the evaluation. And if that happens, then results are even greater. And when you want to feed back good things back into the program, it is welcome. And therefore, multiplier effect is huge.
Well, there is a woman that works on our projects in Uganda she's changed my life. I mean, her name's Namuli. There's a picture of her in my office here somewhere. And she's HIV positive. She's been so for about 10 years. And she doesn't speak English. And she's been a community health mobilizer with our projects for a long, long time. And she took me aside.
How did it feel to be part of a conceptual event today?
I liked it. You know, I really liked it. You know, I think it's really great to hear what people say, and to have a space where that is actually encouraged. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Normally what we do with a conceptual event idea is it's a few days, right? And you can imagine what kind of energy is created when you get these people from different cross-sections of society sort of working together on a common question. We've got so much left to do, and we're affected too. We're affected by the fact that they're affected, and so I'm hopeful. I'm not giving up. I'm not. This could be good, and we can fix this one. And in it, we'll learn so much about what it means to be humane and human and a part of the community in this world.